Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, I wanted to welcome you this evening to the beautiful and nearly restored and renovated Strand Theater. You all have the distinct honor of being the first to sit in these seats since they were literally installed hours ago. My name is Janine Sherline. I'm the Executive Director for the North Country Cultural Center for the Arts. We are soon to be called the Strand Center for the Arts because for 10 years, this venue, beautiful venue that you're sitting in, has been really a restoration project, a capital campaign of the Arts Center. So all of the hard work that's gone in, the donations that you as the community and others have given are really bringing new life into this old theater, and I'm so pleased to see you all here. It's a wonderful, wonderful turnout, so you should clap for yourselves. So, as I said, you'll notice there are some amazing features to the theater. I do and was cautioned to just let you know in terms of exits, should you need one. There's one right here to my right, your left, and there are two to the side in the back, as well as the doors that you came through as well. So just in case, I think we'll be okay. Just figured I'd let you know. And in terms of the Strand itself, we are facing a really exciting week, which is wonderful for us in the office. We're running around like crazy. We have this performance tonight. We have a special circus performance coming tomorrow during the day. I believe it starts at 11. And Betty Little will be here for that. So if any of you have children and would like to come along, or just would like to come along, we'd love to have you. And on Saturday night, we'll be officially inaugurating our hard hat season for the Strand. As you can see, there are still some renovations and construction work to be done, specifically for dressing rooms and a green room and our light and sound system, so we're fully equipped. So we're working on a hard hat season, which will be a number of different kinds of programs here, some fundraisers. We'll give a chance to our lovely and talented and amazing community members who are interested in performing and showing the best of what they do here as well. So please stay tuned for an exciting season ahead. I just have a couple of thanks to give, and then I will turn the program over. I do want to acknowledge Devin Chanowski. He's been very helpful. He's our sound and lighting guy for the night, so I'm going to give you a thank you very much. Also, Emily Owens, she is our education coordinator and sort of really amazing and valued colleague of mine who's sitting in the front, so thank you, Emily. Emily initially brought this program to me and said, we have to do this. And I thought, I don't know what the Strand will be like. Let's try to make it happen. So I do want to thank Emily for pushing the program and for being so great with the communications and making sure that we're, on top of things to be able to open for you tonight. The last little bit of thanks goes to our electrician. His name is David Dubray. He's from Lake City Electric. He has helped to make the lighting possible tonight. And he also has been working very hard in the Strand, so I know he's not here, but I'd like to give him a little nod. And lastly, it's my pleasure really to introduce Natalie Thill. She's a friend, and I'm so pleased to be able to call her a colleague. She knew me when I was fresh out of school working for a small, dysfunctional little nonprofit. And I'm just so thrilled to be able to have her be here with me in the first performance at the Strand Theater. And without further ado, I'm going to welcome Natalie from the Adirondack Center for Writing. Thanks so much.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for coming this evening. Isn't it wonderful to be in the Strand Theater for their first performance? I really want to thank Janine and Emily, who worked so hard, and everyone at the Arts Center and at the Strand for allowing us to be here. It's very special, and we're very, very appreciative of it. So thank you so much. For those of you who don't know, I direct the Adirondack Center for Writing. We do programs for readers and writers throughout the whole Adirondack region. My office is based in Saranac Lake, but I travel and do programs, evidently, throughout the whole region. And we do a lot of different kinds of programs and performances and workshops and conferences. So please find me on the outside and or check us on the internet or Facebook or Twitter. We're everywhere. And I'm really honored to be here tonight. I'm honored to be with such wonderful partners. The partners in this who are working with me are literacy volunteers of Essex and Franklin County, particularly Maria Burke, who is somewhere out there. I can't see her, but there she is. She's been an amazing partner to work with, and it's really been an honor. And literacy volunteers of Clinton County as well, with Norma Menard, who is also just a wonderful partner. And the three of us really, I felt like we were a real tripod together and understood the deep significance of this program. But of course, our biggest partner, and the ones that I'm the most deeply honored to have met and to have grown with and to have participated with, is Madeline Cohen from Symphony Space, who will be your host tonight. Before I introduce Madeline, I want to say something about the writing that you will hear tonight and the performances that you will hear. It was my job, along with the committee, to read all of the pieces that came in, that were submitted, and I had the unenviable task of deciding which pieces would be performed and which pieces, regrettably, would not be performed. And as a director of a literary organization, this happens to me a lot. I have to pick and choose, and I'm usually fairly ruthless, and I feel that that's part of my job, and I don't usually sweat it particularly. But this was so agonizing, mainly because there wasn't a bad piece. All of the writing was remarkable. The imagery was strong, the voice was strong, there was such great honesty, and the stories that you people told me were unbelievable. I can't believe the richness of the community that I share with all of you, and I feel like a big window was cracked open into my world, and I hope that the rest of you feel the same way, that you'll realize how much bigger and richer our community is for all of the writers that are in here. The choices that I made were literally only trying to find a variety, trying to find men versus women from this part of the country or that part of the country. So if a piece was not chosen, it is not a reflection on the strength of the writing. It was simply trying to find a variety from all three different centers. And that reminds me, actually, at this point, I said 3 centers. There's also another partner here, and unfortunately they are not in the audience, but there are another group of writers from the Adirondack Correctional Facility, which is a state prison in Raybrook. And writers from the prison submitted pieces that were equally as gorgeous and wonderful. And it's being videotaped tonight, and we're going to have a performance in the prison so that they'll be able to see the performance of their work so they can participate. And hopefully next year we'll be able to actually have a performance in the prison. So there's actually 3 centers, and I tried to get pieces that were representative of all of them. Tonight you will hear a representation of the pieces that were submitted, but there will be chapbooks given out to all of you that have all of the pieces in there, and you will all, I expect you all to come up to me and tell me how sorry you felt for me that I had to make choices, because you will see how extraordinary all the writing was and how difficult it was for me to have to choose one over another. I applaud all the writers that submitted. As a director of a literary organization, I know how scary writing can be. Submitting your work to strangers is a very deeply intense and terrifying experience, and I deeply respect and applaud all of the writers that have submitted their work today. You are all celebrated tonight. Thank you so much. With no further ado, I would like to introduce Madeline Cohen, who is the Education Director at Symphony Space. And this All Write program is her brainchild. She has been the spearhead and the center of this gorgeous and wonderful program for years, and it was her idea to bring it into Manhattan and to bring it outside of the city to all of us. She's a woman that I've been working with now for a little over a year, and I deeply respect her, and I'd like you all to please welcome Madeline Cohen from Symphony Space.
Well, thank you, everybody, and welcome and good evening. Thanks for coming out on this dreary night for what I think is going to be an extremely exciting performance. This is the second All Write performance here in Plattsburgh, but tonight we are going to hear stories and poems written by you. And before we start, I'm going to ask everyone to please turn off their cell phones, their pagers, their iPods, their food processors, their paper shredders, their motorboats, and any other electronic device that might make noise. And not only noise, even the light from your phone is distracting to other audience members and to the actors. At the end of the show, we are going to invite all the student authors to come up on stage, if they feel like it, to tell the audience what it was like to hear their story read by one of the actors. And at that time, there will be plenty of time to take pictures of your loved ones and your friends with the actors and by themselves. So let's hold off on the photos till then. I want to thank Natalie Phil. She's been also wonderful to work with, as has everybody here. The writing is fantastic. The writers wrote beautiful pieces, but I also know that it was the teachers and the tutors who helped make this happen. And so I also want to thank Norma Menard and the staff of Literacy Volunteers of Clinton County, Maria Burke and the staff of Literacy Volunteers of Essex and Franklin counties, and the inmates of the Adirondack Correctional Facility for participating and helping to make this program so meaningful and so successful. And a special thanks to all the teachers and tutors for overseeing and submitting the writing. To read tonight's stories and poems, I am delighted that we have three fantastic actors who, if you were here when we read the first performance in November, you may remember. We have Charlotte Colvin, who has appeared regularly on the hit television show Law & Order as Judge Lisa Pongracek. That will be the first of many words and names that I'm going to mispronounce, I'm sure, tonight, as well as Law & Order, SVU, The West Wing, The Sopranos, Third Watch, and ER. She is also a playwright. Charlotte Colvin. Kevin Craig West is an award-winning actor and filmmaker. He is the owner of the production company Mobetta Films. He's an advisory board member of Lake Placid Film Forum and president of Upstate Independence. Kevin Craig West. And Dawn Akemi Saito is an actress, performance artist, Butoh performer, and director. She is an artist in residence at Fordham University at Lincoln Center. Dawn's latest piece is called Sons Are Sons, which is about sex trafficking. You can read more about them in your programs, but now let's welcome all three actors, Charlotte, Kevin, and Dawn. Now, except for Native Americans, virtually everyone in the United States came from somewhere else in the world, either recently or a long time ago, their ancestors. And in many ways, that's why this country is unique. Today, we're going to hear some stories and poems about the experiences of people who came to America recently. We'll also hear about life here in the Adirondacks, as well as stories and poems about universal things like family, love, other emotions, freedom, loss, and nature. But we'll start off with some memories that people have of people and places left behind when these writers came to America. Our first piece is called I'm From. It's by Surinderpal Gill, and Dawn Akemi Saito will read it.
I'm from a small village between green farms where neighbors are like family. I'm from school days, walking 3 miles to school and 3 miles back home. I'm from school days, from Monday to Saturday. We have only 1 day to wash uniform to be ready for school. I'm from sweaty days when I drank from public water hand pump from school to home. I'm from the sunny days when I soaked my scarf to keep my head cool. I'm from neighborhood of girls walking with me to school in blue and white uniforms. I'm from nighttime when I put mosquito net over my small bed made of wood and tiny strings. I'm from days when me and my sister-in-law tried to sew nice patterns on bed sheets with needles and multicolored threads. I'm from a big old tree in my yard where after school we swung on the rope swing tied on a big branch. I'm from big family dinners with tomatoes, cucumbers, peas, radishes, turnips from our garden. I'm from friends and family, where we celebrated any occasion for 3 days, such as weddings, birthdays, and other ceremonies. I will always miss my friends and relatives and the times I spent with them.
Now, Charlotte Cullivan will come to the mic to read I'm From by Hafida Yahyaoui.
I'm from yellow and green mosaic slippery tiles and memorial family picture on the wall. I'm from water fountains reflecting the changing colors of the sky, surrounded by beautiful white jasmines with the scent in the air. I'm from friendly and pleasant neighborhood, the pretty green, yellow, pink, brown, and blue villas, an illusion of a rainbow. I'm from enthusiasm, laughter, children playing soccer, music to our ears. I'm from my grandmother, with a very special place in my heart. My cousin Nadia and I were very close. We did everything together, playing, studying, sharing our secrets. I'm from don't play with fire or you will be burned. I'm from couscous, a very important item in my country, a homemade pasta, vegetable sauce, warm and spicy. I'm from a place where my grandparents live, where everything comes from earth, natural and organic. I have fond memories.
The next piece is called I Am From, and it is by Tomomi Koba, and Dawn will read it.
I am from spring. Spring is my favorite season. The sakura blooms. That little short-lived flower brings spring atmosphere. I am from hot. The small vinyl pool was in the yard. I toddled and played naked in the water. I am from rainy season. Humidity makes my hair messy. I am from fireworks. I played it with my family. The smells of smoke, the sound of fireworks, red, blue, yellow, and silver. These colorful sparkles are like stars. I am from the garden, the stepping stones and many trees. Small insects are under the stones. One of the trees has small golden flowers. The fragrance of the flowers makes me feel fall has come. I am from kotatsu. Kotatsu, small table with electric heater underneath and covered by quilt. My family gather in kotatsu to be warm. We share the same time and warmth. I am from small country. It has 4 seasons. I can feel each season's smells, atmosphere, sounds, and colors. I am from Japan. It's my country.
To read Laugh by Roman Rabinovich, let's welcome Kevin Craig West.
I looked into your eyes and listened to your laugh, splintering the space into 1,000 particles of joy when summer was splashing in the shores of valleys. I wanted to stop this moment forever, but I knew it already belonged to the past.
The next piece is called Autobiography. It's by Gresa Sopaj, and Charlotte will read it.
I was the unexpected traveler who wanted to discover the sights worth seeing of the Balkans, Europe, places across the ocean, and the whole world. I learned swimming on the Albanian shores, and the world was mine. I grew up in a small village where summers are long, but winters are beautiful. I've seen thunderstorms, heavy rains, and hail, and I've heard frightful winds, trees falling, and the only thing that came to my mind was, is this the end of the world? I once was scared by an owl's weird sound, leaving me sleepless all night. And during the war of 2001, living in fears, tears, and a hope for better days. I've learned a lot, and I still keep learning. But the most important thing I've learned was what goes around comes back around. I've held a baby in my arms, my nephew. He warmed my soul and filled my heart with love. I met my first love far away from me, far away as the stars seem. We lived in a long-distance relationship, and even though it was hard, it was worth it. He was meant to be my husband, and he found me when I was least expecting him. I lost a golden ring that my sister gave me a long time ago. I love the beautiful depth of fields and the different colors in autumn. I love watching the snowflakes fall, but what I mostly love is the spring blossoms and the summer nights. I am the unexpected traveler, and I keep traveling.
Now let's hear I'm From by Pari Farzinik.
I'm from Tehran, a place that makes me strong and makes me think. I'm from Damanan, the highest peak in Iran and the highest volcano in all of Asia. I'm from a place of morning flowers blooming fast, symbols of love to mankind. I'm from the Persian Gulf, with many good fishing grounds, extensive coral reefs, and abundant pearl oysters. I'm from the Persian carpet, an essential part of Persia art and culture. I'm from my family, friends, and my parents' awesome cooking, from which I grew to be a healthy girl. I'm from the floral wallpaper of Grandma's home, a home with special warmth whenever you're around. I'm from an old big tree in the nearest park where I and my cousin played hide and seek. I'm from a place of try your hardest and never give up.
When I listen to these poems, I almost feel like I'm in these places. I can see some of the sights, I can smell some of the smells, and feel what it was like for them. They're so evocative. Now, the next few poems express the challenges that one can face in life. But even as the writers describe difficult things, you can hear hope in their writing. The first piece that we're going to hear in this group is called Substance. It's by Christopher Perea.
I remember back before I needed substance to play this part, when I was young, wide-eyed, and full of heart. Life seemed endless, and love played a role. When it finally ended, nothing could fill the hole. But then I found a new love, as sad as it may be. That's when me and this substance started this movie starring me. It starts off good, but gets pretty bad. Before long, I was in its grasp, tripped and begging to get out, screaming and pleaded for someone to just pull me out. I've done things I'm not proud of. I kind of always knew I'd end up here. Being in love with that substance got me 4.5 years. Now I'm starting to find myself again. A good soul, heart, and mindset. 'Cause after all, this movie starring me isn't done yet.
The next piece is called Where I'm From. It's by J. Crew, and Kevin will read it.
I am from where getting your ass whipped is like dinner. I am from where the smell of chicken is what you always want. I am from where looking at a person too long can be a problem. I am from where you pray to be tall when you grow up just to have a way out. And if not, then at least you're tall enough to run away from the cops. I am from where pretty girls never stop coming, but only have time for you when their parents is not around. I am from where weed is all you need to get your day started. I am from where you fight just to get the respect, even if you lose. I am from where, when you hear the sirens, you run just because. I am from where boys and girls play skelly and hopscotch in the middle of the street. I am from where when it snows, it's the best time. Can you tell where I'm from?
The next piece is called Cherry Pie, A Blue Dress, and My Mother. It's by Mariami Ciclauri.
If I had 1 month to live, the first thing I do is go home. I would go back to Georgia. In Georgia, I would spend time with my mom and family. I'd stay at home like a newborn baby. My mom and I would bake cherry pie. Making pie will remind me of being a little girl. If I had 1 month to live, I'd be nicer to my brothers. I would make Bachi lunch, and not just because he bought me a dress. If I had 1 month to live, I would call my grandfather more. I would tell him I love him, even if he is crying. I would plant a tree in his backyard. If I had just 1 day to live, I would write a letter to my mom so she would have something of mine when I'm gone. On my last day, I would listen to the song First Day of My Life by Bright Eyes. The last thing I would do is buy a dress as blue as the sky to wear at my funeral. Even my last outfit, I would want to be different than other people. If I had just 1 day to live, I would say goodbye like birds migrating south for the winter. I would promise to come back someday soon.
The next piece is actually a letter. It's called Family.